everybody, I'm Dominic from AskMeDIY.com. In this video, I'm going to show you how to increase your water pressure if you have a well pump in your home. The first thing to do is understand what we're dealing with, okay? First of all, 220 volts. So you want to make sure you're always turning it off and you're on concrete and it's wet. Even if it was 110 volts, you can get pretty screwed up. So don't do that, okay? Big tank. This is a decent size. Yours can be half this size or twice the size. What's the difference on the tanks? Easy. If you had a car wash, say, and you're using a lot of water, well, the bigger the tank, it's going to hold more water, but it's only holding it really about halfway. A lot of times you'll have low water pressure all of a sudden, which is something you might want to think about because it doesn't really mean it's going to have to do with what we're doing here. You could have other problems. The newer tanks will have a bladder in them, which means it's a big rubber bladder in here. It's going to hold water, say halfway, and in here is going to have air, and it's going to be under pressure. Okay, tap on it, you got a thug, and you hear here, it's more of a hollow sound. Okay, so we know that this is indeed functioning correctly. You have two power wires on here. This one here, you can see coming to our cutoff switch. This is to turn it off, and this one here is the wire that's actually going to the pump that's way down hundreds of feet into your well. We have a switch. In this case, this particular switch. You could have a much bigger one, whatever. Make sure it's off, okay? You have a gauge on here. And like I said, if you don't have a gauge, well, put one in, because I can't tell you otherwise. All right, so check out the gauge. Right now, we got 45 PSI on the high side. We want to increase that to about 60 PSI. First thing we want to do before we do anything, okay? What we want to do, I want to drain, I want to release all the pressure, not the water, but just the pressure of it that's in the whole system of the house. I have a ball valve right here which is supplying the rest of the house, so I'm going to turn that off. I have a hose, and we got our little spigot under here. I'm simply just going to attach the hose and release all the pressure that's in here, and we can tell that by the gauge right here. Okay, so when that goes down to like 0, we'll open this valve. When this goes down to 0, remember that the switch up there is off, so the pump's not going to pump. So I'm going to open this up. You hear all that water gushing out here, getting the backyard wet, and this gauge will go all the way down to 0. Okay, so once that's down, we're going to close this up, and then we're going to start checking the air in here. Now, on this particular, we have a big label here, and all kinds of different languages here. We're looking for the most pressure that we can get without doing any damage. Okay, you have a high side, and you have a low side. Well, the high side is the highest that the pressure is going to be inside the house at your faucet, and the low pressure. So, in other words, the low pressure is, once it gets down that low, the pump will go on. Sure, we could bring it to high 60 and the low 55, but that means that pump's going to be cycling a lot, a real lot, and you don't want to do that. You know, it's going to prolong the life of the pump. It's going to cost you a lot more, but that's why we have the tank. That's going to actually takes the place of all that, okay? Still going, got 20 PSI. Like I said, we want to bring that down to 0. What we're looking to do, once this goes down to 0, we are looking at this. Look on the, I guess I have to explain that. On the tanks, you're going to have, like putting air down to 0. Look at that. Okay, let's turn this off and we'll get right on that. All right, we want to drain all the water in the house out, right? Okay, now a tire gauge, just like this. Like I said, we're looking for our low side. I like a little extra, so we're going to go maybe a little different. We're going to go maybe 65, 45, whatever is easier to achieve, which you'll better understand in a minute. So if I have a low side, which is called a cut in, if you're reading anything on here, it's called a cut in. So we're just going to call it the low side. I think it's a little easier to understand. If that's going to be 45, we want our air pressure in this tank to be 2 to 4 PSI under that. So 45, so we're looking at 43, okay? So with the tire gauge, maybe not this big gigantic one, check the air in here, just like you would in your car tire. Now I got maybe 25 I had. Closer to 30. Okay. Either way. Okay. Now with an air tank or an air pump, whatever you have, an air, no, not an air pump, but a little air tank, maybe borrow one from somebody. We're going to put air in it, just like you would a tire. Oop, turn it on. There we go. Put a little in, check the pressure. And getting up there. But again, we want to bring this up to, I guess, 43. Okay, so we're just going to keep doing that. It's going to take a while. So I'm going to keep doing that until I get the right pressure that I want in there, which is like that again, 43 psi. Then we're going to get down here and show you how to do these adjustments. All right. I took the cover off here and I'll show you what we got. We have our low side and our high side. Another term that you'd find if you read any of these labels is a cut in and cut out pressure. Cut in as is when it's going to turn on, and cut off as when it's going to turn off. Okay. Now when I accidentally flipped the switch on, so we created a little pressure there. I'm going to turn it back on, and I can hear it's humming, so I know the pump is on. And of course the gauge is going up. Now I went ahead and I turned them down a little bit and show you what we're looking for. So we're up at 45 now. All right, so this is gonna keep going up, hopefully to around 60ish, a little bit, notch a little bit above 60 is what I'm really looking for. You know, more than 60, I couldn't start damaging things. So we don't want to do that. 50. All right, so let's see where we go. Now, if you get a close-up, Tom, can you get a close-up of this on top maybe? Bring it over. If you look at it, our gauge is going up. Now again, I'm doing this to show you, although it's dangerous because this is live. Once it reaches our pressure, our high pressure, you're going to hear a click, and you might even see a little arc right here, because this switch here will click off. These contacts will be pushed off using the pressure. Now, as the pressure goes up, oh, there it goes. Clicked, and now it's off, okay? Now, what we want to do, we want to open this valve up. Or you can have, if you don't have one of these, then you have to go upstairs and, have somebody turn a faucet on. But with the spigot right here, okay, open the spigot up. We're going to release all the pressure. All the pressure that's in our system right here. Now watch this gauge. It's going to go down, and it's going to go down pretty quick. Now what we're looking for, we're waiting for this to turn on. Our little switch right here, our pressure switch, for it to turn on. And we want it about any second will be good. And no, that's too low, because now your wife, there, see how it just clicked on? So so your wife say the shower is saying, hey, where's all my water pressure going? So we want to bring that up a little bit more. So we're going to turn this off, and all we want to do is really just turn this one here, just turn it down a little bit, because in our case it was a little bit below 40, and we want it a little bit. Remember our pressure in our tank, right? Our air pressure. So we want to bring that up to around 45. So we're just going to, just turn that a little bit, and then we'll go ahead and test all that out. Make sure that's good. So in our case, we're looking.
So you want our cut off pressure to be a little bit more than 60, and our cut on pressure a little bit more than 40.
Now on this tank, because this tank's relatively new, we actually will tell us some settings right here. Our PSI of the tank and our settings. So you have 20-40, you have 30-50, 40-60. And you see how that clicked off, right? At our high pressure, really nice. And again, we're going to try open this up. And let's see, remember I turned that up a little bit. It's going down quick. That's one thing about nice, because if you were up in the house in the faucet or something, it'd take a really long time to drain the water in here, the pressure down. But with this big spigot right there, Alright, so that should be clicking on any second. Still not, maybe a little bit higher. Alright, so we definitely want to adjust that to go back up a little bit more. Like I said, you're going to have to play with it. You know, you're not going to get it right the first time, by no means. Definitely not. Alright, so if increasing the pressure is what you're out for, well, that's what we did here. So make sure you turn the power off anytime you go near that and put the cover back on. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. So you can actually hear that it went off. And we're going to put our cover back on. And that would be it. Pretty, turn the valve back off. Okay. Stop. Alright, check this out. Now we have much better water pressure here at the sink and the shower. Equally as good. So now maybe I can use that little the water massager, the other one that goes like that. Clean my on my backside, I guess. Anyway, that's how you make more water pressure if you have a well. If it's city water, sorry, can't help you. Call them up and complain. Anyway, I'm Dominic from AskMeDIY.com. Thanks for watching.